Ever stood in front of a giant Lego creation and wondered, how did they build that? Now, imagine that Lego creation is 481 feet tall, weighs 6 million tons, and has been standing for over 4,500 years. That's the Great Pyramid of Giza for you, and its construction still baffles engineers today. How did an ancient civilization without modern machinery build something so massive and so perfectly? Let's unravel the secrets behind the incredible solidity of the Egyptian pyramids. The story starts with the foundation. You can't build a skyscraper on sand, and the ancient Egyptians knew this. They chose a solid bedrock plateau, a natural, sturdy base that could support the immense weight. Then, they leveled it with breathtaking precision. Imagine a construction site the size of several city blocks, leveled to within an inch of being perfectly flat. How did they do it? A popular theory is that they built a grid of water-filled trenches across the area. By marking the water level on the trench walls and then chiseling the rock down to that line, they created a perfectly horizontal surface. This meticulous groundwork was the first step in ensuring the pyramid would stand for millennia. With a solid base ready, the real heavy lifting began. We're talking about millions of limestone and granite blocks, some weighing as much as an African elephant, up to 80 tons. These weren't quarried next door either. The bulk of the limestone came from nearby quarries on the Giza Plateau, but the special, high-quality white limestone for the outer casing was ferried across the Nile from Tura, and the massive granite blocks used for the king's chamber. They were transported from Aswan, over 500 miles away. How on earth did they move them? Archaeological evidence suggests a combination of sheer manpower and clever engineering. One fascinating discovery is an ancient papyrus, the Diary of Merer, which describes the transportation of blocks by boat along the Nile and through a system of man-made canals that brought the water right up to the base of the pyramid. Once on land, the blocks were likely pulled on large wooden sledges. But here's the genius part. They didn't just drag them across dry sand. A famous tomb painting depicts workers pouring water on the sand in front of the sledge. This simple act reduces friction dramatically, making it possible for a smaller team of workers to pull an incredibly heavy load. It's a perfect example of ancient science in action. So, the blocks are at the site. Now, how do you get them up the side of a growing pyramid? This is one of the biggest debates in Egyptology. The straight-on ramp theory, often seen in movies, has a major problem. To reach the top of the Great Pyramid, the ramp would have needed to be over a mile long, requiring more material and labor than the pyramid itself. It just doesn't seem practical. A more plausible idea is a spiral ramp that corkscrewed around the outside of the pyramid as it was built. This would be more efficient, allowing them to raise the blocks incrementally. Another compelling theory suggests an internal ramp system. As the outer layers were built, a spiraling tunnel was left inside the pyramid's structure, allowing workers to haul blocks up from within. Scans using modern technology have detected some anomalies and voids inside the Great Pyramid that could potentially support this internal ramp theory. Perhaps the secret to its construction is still hidden within its very walls. Whichever ramp system they used, one thing is certain: the precision of the block placement is astounding. The blocks fit together so tightly that you can't even slide a piece of paper between them. This wasn't achieved with mortar as we know it today. While they did use a type of gypsum mortar, it acted more as a lubricant to help slide the blocks into place rather than as a glue to hold them together. The pyramid's stability comes from the sheer weight and the incredible precision of the stonework. Each block was chiseled and dressed by hand to fit perfectly against its neighbors. This created a single, monolithic structure, incredibly resistant to the forces of nature. Let's talk about the shape. Why a pyramid? It's not just symbolic, representing a ray of sunlight or a stairway to the heavens. It's an incredibly stable architectural form. The wide base and low center of gravity make it almost impossible to tip over. The majority of the weight is concentrated at the bottom, creating immense internal pressure that locks the stones together. This inherent structural integrity is a key reason why these monuments have survived earthquakes, floods, and the passage of thousands of years while other ancient buildings have crumbled. The internal design also contributes to its strength. The Grand Gallery, the King's Chamber, The queen's chamber, these aren't just empty rooms. They are part of a sophisticated internal structure designed to distribute weight and relieve stress. Above the king's chamber, for example, there are 5 stress-relieving chambers capped with massive granite beams. These were engineered to divert the colossal weight of the pyramid's core away from the ceiling of the king's chamber, preventing it from collapsing. This shows a deep, practical understanding of structural engineering that is truly ahead of its time. Finally, there was the outer casing. The pyramids we see today are the rough, stepped core. In their prime, they were covered in a layer of smooth, polished white Tura limestone. This casing would have reflected the desert sun, making the pyramids gleam like giant jewels. Can you imagine the sight? More than just for beauty, this casing provided a protective shell, shielding the inner core from the elements. While most of the casing stones were stripped away centuries ago to build Cairo, some can still be seen at the base of the Great Pyramid, offering a glimpse of its former glory. So, the incredible solidity of the Egyptian pyramids isn't due to one single secret, but a combination of brilliant choices: a solid bedrock foundation, meticulous leveling, clever transportation methods for gigantic stones, a structurally sound pyramid shape, mind-bogglingly precise stonework, and a sophisticated internal design to manage immense pressure. It was a monumental undertaking that required a highly organized society, a dedicated workforce, and generations of accumulated knowledge. These structures are not just tombs. They are a testament to human ingenuity, perseverance, and an obsessive quest for permanence. They were built to last for eternity, and so far, they've done a pretty remarkable job. The next time you see a picture of a pyramid, don't just see a pile of stones. See one of the greatest engineering feats in human history, a puzzle that we are still working to fully understand. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you were as amazed as I was by the genius of the ancient Egyptians, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of history. Let me know in the comments which ancient marvel you'd like us to explore next. See you in the next video.